We no longer live in a world of black and white. Rather, the landscape has become a canvas of muted grays, where good is indistinguishable from evil, and renegades receive a hero's embrace. For nearly a decade, Bret the Hitman Hart was perhaps the most beloved superstar in the World Wrestling Federation. But when a stone-cold killer declared his intention to end Bret's legacy, the Hitman was perceived the villain, the unrelenting antagonist, the fan favorite. Soon anger replaced passion, arrogance supplanted a champion's pride. Bret turned his back on an entire nation and reunited the Hart Foundation to launch a reign of mayhem and destruction. Tonight in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, the paradox continues. Tonight, the prodigal sons return home the heroes, while five mighty superstars on a noble crusade become the villains. Tonight, the rogues are the beloved, the heroes the hated. Tonight, the gray clouds of disarray threaten to unleash a devastating tempest in your house.
Welcome in, everybody, to episode number 3 of new name, same great flavor. It's like Coca-Cola. This is Wrestling Retrospective.
Or the Wrestling Retrospective.
Oh, okay. I'll let Ernest enunciate on it whenever it's his turn. I am your host. I am Mike Bernier. I am joined by my co-host, Ernest DJ Christian.
Hey, yo.
And do not follow him on Twitter, @TheRealJosephLopez. What's up?
I'm still trying to find you, Joe, on Twitter.
Live in the South Florida. I thought about making that a Twitter handle and just sending blank tweets about our show, like I read Joe.
There was a movie a few years ago about a woman from somewhere in Asia who sees the movie Fargo and believes that it's real and comes to America to try to find the buried treasure. Wow. That is what you would be doing if you tried to find me on Twitter. So just don't. Just don't.
Will you ever? He's on Instagram though.
I am.
He is on Instagram.
Anyway, now we're there.
All right. So, in a previous episode, you heard us that we were going to talk about Beach Blast. That did not happen. Probably won't happen for a little while. Some life stuff came up. I've been battling this I want to be sick, I don't want to be sick thing that I'm going through. So if my voice sounds a little different, that's probably why. Ernest with the kids and Joe with his illustrious travel schedule has made the recording of that show pretty much impossible. And you know what, to be honest with you, it was really a one-match card. It was really the Ricky Dragon Steamboat Rick Rude Iron Man match, so not really all that upset.
Oh, I mean, it's okay. I mean, we'll cover it one day. Let's just say that.
We'll cross that bridge.
Yes.
We'll cross that bridge.
Lots of stuff to get to.
But today's episode is an episode that Joe and Ernest both really, really wanted to do.
Yes.
I said I was okay with it. It is In Your House 16. It is Canadian Stampede. It happened in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Gotta have the pause, because if you don't do justice for Lance Storm. It was held at the Canadian Airlines Saddle Dome. What the hell is a saddle dome?
A dome with a saddle?
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, it's
paying homage to the Calgary Stampede.
That's right.
So before we get into Canadian Stampede,
it was
I want to talk about
beavers. Is that correct?
How many?
15,000 beavers were in the audience that night.
15,000 beavers. Yes, 15,000 beavers and 12,000 fans for a total of 27,000 people.
Damn, Vince, good job.
Super sellout.
Super sellout.
The fire marshal came and said, "No more people." No more.
That's funny.
So leading into Canadian Stampede was the King of the Ring 1997. Go over that quickly in a brush up so you guys can kind of see where we're at in the WWF leading into it. The main event for King of the Ring, the main card build was the final of the 97 King of the Ring, which was won by Triple H, Hunter Hearst Helmsley. He defeated Mankind in the finals. This is a year after Austin in 96. It's supposed to be the year that Hunter won. Wins it in 97. Are we surprised that he gets the green light after being basically buried for the curtain call?
I'm not. I think it was just delayed. I mean, he was still relatively hot even when he was pushed back down the card a little bit in '96. He got a lot of heat. If I'm not mistaken, he actually held the IC belt for a little while too, didn't he? In early that year, early '97, didn't he? If I'm not mistaken.
I think so. I'm not sure.
I believe so. Didn't the Rocky
Didn't Rocky
Maivia beat him for the
Warrior?
didn't Rocky Maivia beat
He
him
lost
for
to
the
the
belt?
Warrior.
I'm mistaken. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he might have.
yeah. So
Yeah,
But you know,
like Tuesday Night Raw.
right, exactly.
You know, too, you got to remember I mean, from what I understand about the wrestling quote unquote industry, and of course I know nothing about it whatsoever, but from what I understand about it, usually that's the kind of thing where if you are kind of on punishment, as long as you kind of do your time, you're actually rewarded after the fact. Like it's almost
sucking
like
it up and taking it like a man.
right, exactly. It's almost like, oh, you did your 12 years in prison. Now we're going to give you a house because like we're so impressed that you just took it. You know, it's a weird dichotomy, really, but that seems to be a thing. So
Look at it this way: the Ultimate Warrior, had so much issues backstage with fellow roster members, Vince, and he came back 3 times. He held the company up for money on one of the biggest pay-per-views of the year at SummerSlam '91, and he was still allowed to come back twice after. So I mean, yeah, I mean, there's always it's a limit to this stuff sometimes, unless you murder somebody, But yeah, that's me.
Oh, he went
it
there.
depends.
Oh God, did I go there? Oh, sorry.
You did. God damn it, Benoit.
Sorry. Ah! My bad.
All right, in other matches at King of the Ring, the Hart Foundation, which was the British Bulldogs, Jim the Anvil, Neidhart, and Owen Hart, defeated the Legion of Doom and Sid. I guess it was not softball season for Psycho Sid.
It was last night, though, during our reunion, 2 nights ago, rather. Where was he at, by the way?
I've heard reports that he actually gave them multiple days' notice that he wasn't going to be able to make it. I don't know the reasons why, probably softball, but, I mean, at least he didn't, just straight up no-show the event.
Yeah. I'm going to go with a softball. And now, excuse, because it works every time.
Yeah. Monday night was tournament play.
That's right, baby. Can't do it. Won't do it.
Like I said, Triple H over Mankind in the finals of the King of the Ring. Shawn Michaels versus Stone Cold ends in a double disqualification. Interesting note, Shawn Michaels is not on Canadian Stampede.
Yeah,
I actually have no idea why.
Probably injury. I think he was still relatively somewhat injured still. I mean, even though he was doing some work during that summer, I don't think he was fully healthy at that point. Maybe?
It's very possible, because that match...
This was that weird in-between point where he had that, fight with Bret Hart backstage.
Correct. That is correct, yes.
And, went home, said it was an unsafe working environment, which, I mean...
Yeah.
It's like working at Subway and saying that it's unsafe to be around all the salad. I don't know what you expect being around people with testosterone that, throw punches for a living, but sometimes you can get punched,
Factual.
But no, I think this was around that time. Mm-hmm. So I think that's why he wasn't there, because he was, did hissy fit kind of
And furthermore too, also he missed, he obviously was involved in SummerSlam 97 as a referee to the Taker Brett match, but he didn't wrestle until September. So
yeah.
And
in the main event, a very interesting turn of event here. This match went 13 minutes and 40 seconds. The Undertaker with Paul Bearer, remember that, with Paul Bearer, defeated Farouk with the Nation of Domination. Now, the ending of this match saw the Nation of Domination attempt to interfere to help Farouk capture the WWF title. Crush and Savio Vega began arguing with each other, which distracted Farouk. Farouk left the ring to investigate, gave The Undertaker time to gain momentum. He hits the tombstone, gets the win, retains. Following the match, Ahmed Johnson runs in, argues with The Undertaker, and ends with Johnson hitting the Pearl River Plunge. So it looks like we're going to get Ahmed Johnson versus The Undertaker for the WWF title at Canadian Stampede, or maybe even SummerSlam. Whoa! holy crap, Ahmed Johnson's going to be in a world title match. And it's gone. Following King of the Ring, Ahmed Johnson attacked The Undertaker. They were forced to team together against Farouk and Kama Mustafa of the Nation of Domination on the June 16th episode of Raw is War. Johnson turned on The Undertaker during the match, allowing Kama to pin The Undertaker and joining the Nation of Domination. But the funny thing is, the Nation of Domination actually led to kind of where I feel like we're at right here in this part of 1997, which is faction warfare, as I call it. After losing the title, Farouk fires Savio Vega. He's there.
Damn.
He's just there.
Damn.
He also fires Crush. Guys, I'm gonna try to keep this as politically correctly as I can. He fired the Spanish guy and the white guy.
Yeah, no, isn't that great? We got the power.
So, as I read this off of Wikipedia, and you guys are gonna laugh hysterically into this, Farouk fired them from the Nation of Domination and converted into a faction of black wrestlers, leading to a racial gang war as the white American Crush formed the Disciples of Apocalypse motorcycle gang, and the Hispanic Vega formed Los Boricuas. Thank you, Wikipedia, for turning this into a race war.
This is why when people challenge that Vince wasn't racist, I always go back to this angle. I go back to the Virgil McMillan angle and all that. He had tins of racism in him. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Right. I mean, let's be clear here. This was a race war. They literally, I mean, first of all, they drove by the local Home Depot and were just like, "Yo, you want to team with Savio Vega? Like, let's do this." Because I don't know who any of those guys were. Like, this is the same era where WCW is out there signing like every wrestler that's ever wrestled in Arena Mexico. It's not like there's any shortage of great Hispanic wrestlers.
Right.
And WWF broke out like Jorge Estrada or whatever the hell his name was. Was that even one of them? Like,
yes.
Also,
okay.
Was this also their attempt to like try like mimicking WCW's like NWO, Wolfpack, Hollywood, having factions, whatnot, kind of, sort of.
I mean, I don't know if it was really to try to pitch off of that. I think it was more or less to give all of these guys really something to do. I don't think that they were more or less thinking, oh, okay, we need to have, the villainous stuff.
I think it was a great idea. Like I said, I think just part of it, like, particularly with Los Boricuas, it was just like, what are you, like, where did you guys get these guys? Like, honestly. But, like, the idea itself, the concept, I thought was pretty cool. And also, I thought Crush was Hawaiian, so I mean, I'm calling shenanigans on that. But, like, otherwise.
Joe, you would say that. Joe, you would say that. That's so true. He was Hawaiian.
Like, this is what I was taught.
Kayfabe.
Okay?
Factual. All right.
And by the way, this whole thing with Savio. Wait, real quick. Remember the last show that we did? Remember the last show we did together when we talked about Savio always being there, just there. Here he goes again. He goes again. He's just there.
Yeah,
he's just there.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm trying to find something. Okay, so the thing I want to bring up is the Undertaker being managed by Paul Bearer in the random title match at King of the Ring. Because the year before, Bearer turned heel on Undertaker at SummerSlam and aligned himself with Mankind.
Mm-hmm.
So then he coerced Undertaker into, like, being his, like, lackey, I guess, because of the secret that has now been notified to be Kane.
Right.
I love the fact that they're using, like, this brainwashing, evil genius Paul Bearer to force The Undertaker into, like, doing his bidding. I thought it was awesome.
It was great. I thought it was great. I mean, number one, he's a champion, so there's something for Paul Bearer to gain by that, notoriety-wise. But also, I found out, too, that they had decided that they weren't going to reveal Kane until, like, in the fall. So they had, like, 5 months of build-up between, WrestleMania when he won the title, and then Paul Bearer within the month, leaking these little secrets out here and there. They needed to fill time. And having Paul Bearer,
Kane,
that was smart. on their on the company's behalf.
Kane did not debut until October
5th
of 1997 at Bad Blood, which actually took place the day before my birthday. But this one is one of those things that also has some stuff attached to it. That's the same pay-per-view that they announced that Brian Pillman was dead.
That's correct.
Can we just take a moment to also appreciate Paul Bear in full-on, like, pimp mode? Because he is just straight up like, yo, Undertaker, you're going to do what I want you to do, or I'm going to send you back to Crenshaw with the hot-ass coat hangers. Like, he is just that. Like, that comes out on the show. He's just like, I'm going to hit you with my shoe if you don't listen. Like, that happens.
I'll tell you what, Paul Bear's a lot of balls for a guy the way he looks to tell Kane and Undertaker. Like, he's
a godfather.
His pimp game is strong. He's a true pimp of the World Wrestling Federation. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. So, In Your House 16 Canadian Stampede happened July 6, 1997. We're 4 short months away from the untimely passing of Brian Pillman. So, watching Pillman in this match was really one of those things where you're like, wow, he still really had it.
That's great.
In his parts of it, especially being the loose cannon. The main storyline heading into this was the 10-man main event. Stone Cold Steve Austin paired up with a guy who was actually feuding with Ken Shamrock, Goldust, and the Legion of Doom. They took on the Hart Foundation, which was Jim the Anvil Neidhart, Brian Pillman, the WWF European Champion, the British Bulldog Davey Boy Smith, the WWF Intercontinental Champion Owen Hart, and the leader Bret the Hitman Hart. That is the main event. Other things that happened leading into this, like I said, at the end of In Your House, it really looked like we were going to get Ahmed Johnson versus The Undertaker at some point in this smorgasbord of 97, whether it had been here at Canadian Stampede or maybe even the SummerSlam main event, whatever we could have gotten out of it. But unfortunately, during gang warfare, Ahmed got his knee.
Oh, he got hurt again? He got injured?
Yeah, we see that in the video package that we'll talk about leading into the match. And then it's randomly announced that Vader's the number 1 contender.
I was saying,
Vader is managed.
He's always getting hurt.
Yeah. Vader is managed by Paul Bear. So leading into this, in a WWF Tag Title tournament, Paul Bear forced Undertaker to team with Vader.
Wow.
Kind of interesting.
What a pimp. What a pimp. Paul Bear, man.
He was following that match. Following that match, Undertaker attacked Vader. Bear told the secret the next week that Kane exists.
Kane is alive!
Yeah. There's gonna be Kane!
Yes!
I think, wasn't he still just claiming that he actually killed them? Like, I don't think he revealed yet that Kane was still alive.
He might have said that.
Wikipedia sucks with their facts. It says, let's see.
Because
Vader was announced as the number 1 contender.
3/4 of his time just saying murderer over.
There was a point where I think between this event and probably going to Ground Zero, even after Ground Zero, where you sort of forgot about the storyline a little bit. That's why when Kane didn't come in October, it was a little bit of a surprise because we kind of sort of forgot about it because we were so focused on the Shawn Michaels Undertaker angle for a couple months that by the time we got to Bad Blood, Kane coming out, like, oh, I remember this now. So there was a point where, like, for a month and a half, a good 6 weeks, where, like, there was no mention of Kane. I think they want people to forget about it for a little bit so it'd be more surprising again.
Well, according to Wikipedia, because that's where I looked up some facts, and I have it open right now, the match against the Nation team of D'Lo and Farouk, Vader's manager forced Undertaker to do as he said, or he would reveal the secret. After the Undertaker attacked Vader after the match, Bear told the secret the next week. That was, quote, throughout the Undertaker's childhood and teen years, he lived in a funeral home with his parents and half-brother. According to Bear, Undertaker killed his parents and caused his brother's face to be burned and scarred by setting the funeral home ablaze. The Undertaker denied it and said Kane was the one that burnt the house. During the attack, from the Undertaker after Vader's match with Rockabilly. Really, Rockabilly? God damn, that's terrible. Bear said he heard from Kane himself because unbeknownst to Undertaker, Kane survived the fire and is still alive.
I'm hung up on Rockabilly right now. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Fuck Rockabilly.
But to be fair, though,
Clown.
in the same year, he went from having two shit characters to falling into an awesome New Age Outlaws character, winning the tag titles. How does that happen in a calendar year? That's amazing, actually.
He became friends with Shawn Michaels and Triple H.
Yeah, that's true. The new click.
Yep. So we see the video package to open up Canadian Stampede. It's pretty much just the leading into the main event. There's no real other thing added into the package. There's no real build to anything. And we go right to the Saddle Dome. We see our commentary team of Vince McMahon, Jim Ross, and Jerry the King Lawler in a cowboy hat.
That's right.
Weirdest thing I've seen all day.
The last days of Vince doing play-by-play.
Bye-bye. He was getting to the end of that. He was really, you could tell he was kind of phoned in a lot of this show and let Ross and Lawler take the reins.
Mm-hmm. Bless you.
Thank you. Oh, God. Our first match of the show is a rematch from the finals of the King of the Ring. It is Triple H versus Mankind. We see a video package of the two guys from the finals of the King of the Ring. The build up to the rematch with Triple H destroying everything King of the Ring-ish over Mankind. China destroying the scepter. It's been stated multiple times on different podcasts that Triple H hated the King of the Ring stuff, the crown, the scepter, all that stuff, so they destroyed it on purpose. Kind of a dick move, but I love it.
Yeah, a little bit of a edge, Stone Coldish, if you will. To some degree.
Yeah, Stone Cold didn't even look at it. He was just like, no.
Yeah.
Joseph?
I don't understand anyone that doesn't appreciate a good hat and a cape, so.
I agree with you.
So, this match was actually relatively entertaining. I enjoyed it. I think the three of us off air agreed that Mankind Mick Foley is in the top 5 all-time Triple H rivalries of all time.
Has to be. You can argue. You can argue this is what actually put. Well, this solidified Mankind's bayface turn pretty much in that year, and also Triple H's it legitimized him a lot too. Also that year.
I mean, to be 100% honest with you.
Yeah.
Go, Joe.
No. You're going to be honest. I was going to lie, so you should go first.
No, go ahead, Joe. Go ahead. I'll counter.
Okay. Well, no, I was just going to say, to be honest, I don't know about you guys, but other than, his feud with Henry Godwin, this is the first, major feud that actually mattered for Triple H that I remember. And it last, they went back to it quite a few times over the years. So, and they always delivered. I mean, they always had great matches with each other. There was just something about the two of them. I feel like, and I feel like even just watching this match on this show, I had a moment where I was thinking to myself, I feel like Mick Foley gets underplayed for how great of a wrestler he actually is. I feel like people remember him for, being thrown off the Hell in a Cell and, almost dying in all the hardcore matches and losing an ear and yada, yada, yada. But he could put together a hell of a match, almost like nobody else. Talk about just having a great dance partner. I don't know that you could have hoped for anyone better than Mick Foley when he was at his best.
No, you're right. I'm so right. I mean, first off, this rivalry went through 3 pay-per-views at least. It went through King of the Ring, the finals, this one, and then the SummerSlam, the cage match, and not including also sometimes going on Raw. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I also, what I was going to say is I would argue that Triple H and Foley, if it isn't Triple H's biggest feud, the only one that could be bigger than it would be The Rock.
Right, yeah.
His stuff with The Rock.
Main event status, yeah.
But panning off of what Joe said about the Triple H not having a real rivalry, the only other thing that you could have called a rivalry besides Henry O. Godwin was his feud with Goldust.
I don't even remember.
Yeah, that was actually pretty good too. That went a couple months ago.
That was the debut. That was the debut of China because she destroyed Marlena.
Mm-hmm.
Triple H won the Intercontinental title from Goldust, I believe.
Correct.
So it was like Godwin,
remember that.
Goldust, Mankind. I think is kind of the order of.
No, right. It was Ahmed, Goldust, Triple H, Rocky Maivia, Triple H.
Yep.
Yes.
So the first match, they go back and forth for a while. They have a really, really, really good match here. It ends in a double count out at 13 minutes and 14 seconds. But they're not done. They brawl into the crowd. You know, they're checking each other into the hockey board. They're really like letting these guys go. I thought it was hilarious. They finally supposedly break it up. I say supposedly because we'll lead into it in a little while. And then we go to a video package of the wrestlers being involved in a what's the word? Parade.
Oh yeah, the Canadian parade, the little Calgary parade. Yeah, to celebrate the Hearts. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they do a tug. They do like a tug of war. They get the key to the city. You know, lots of fun.
Fun times.
We see Doc Hendricks.
Dude.
Interviewing the Hart Foundation. That interview lasted 0.7 seconds because in comes Stone Cold. Stone Cold. Stone Cold. He's trying to walk into a 5-on-1 beatdown.
Stone Cold's a dick, wasn't he? Trying to people's interviews. Like, go back to your locker room, bro.
Yeah, I got a kick out of that.
Oh, it's great. I loved it.
We transition to the second match on the card. A match that me and Joe, I think we both actually relatively enjoyed this one. Match goes 10 minutes. It is the great Sasuke, as Jim Ross called him. Oh, God. He took on soon-to-be WWF Light Heavyweight Champion Taka Michinoku.
I love Michinoku, man. I think he's awesome.
Thought process, Joe?
No, I love that match. Yeah, I told you that too. I thought it was really entertaining. I mean, it was kind of, that was that early moment when WWF was just trying to kind of put together a light heavyweight division, something to rival WCW's cruiserweight division, and I think it was smart actually because WCW was more leaning towards the Mexican wrestlers and the luchadors, and I think it was kind of a good idea for WWF to be like, hey, look, but there's also these guys in Japan that can do all this same stuff, and like, why not bring a couple of them over here? And certainly for the time in particular, I don't know that you could have had two better guys than Great Sasuke and Taka Michinoku. So they put on the kind of match. Okay, so the other day, about a week ago, I went and got a haircut near where I'm living now. I just moved in here a couple of months ago, so I stopped in. And the guy, obviously, he knows everyone in the neighborhood, so he's like, I've never been here before. And I was like, yeah, no, it's the first time. He gave me the kind of haircut that makes me come back. This is that match.
Nice.
This is the kind of match that was like, we got to impress the audience so that they'll want us back.
Hell yeah.
No, but not only that, does Michinoku have a bad match? Because all the matches are good. Pay-per-view, Raw, doesn't matter. Every match he does is always entertaining.
I mean, he's had a couple of duds. But I don't know if it's him or if it's who he's dancing with. Dance partners are a big contributing factor.
His only bad ones to me is when he's forced to tag team.
Oh, Kai and Tai? You can't hate Kai and Tai. What do you mean? Everybody's favorite wrestler, Dick DeGo and Funaki, SmackDown #1 reporter.
Hey, and he's still going today, right? He's still wrestling.
Yes, he's the Japanese broadcast team.
Oh, okay.
Yes. But how do you hate Dick DeGo?
Dick DeGo.
I don't.
I know you don't.
Yeah.
Yes, guys. That's a gay joke.
Anyway.
All right. So if this match is getting ready to start, out come Triple H and Mankind again, brawling their faces off. I told you we'd get back to them.
Mm-hmm.
They're literally like just throwing everything at each other. Trash cans, steel chairs, 17 referees, China trying to get involved. They're finally able to get them back into the back where, everyone takes a drink of water. get ready for another segment in a little while. This match was 100 miles an hour from the time the bell rang until the time that the bell rang. These guys were flying around the ring. A spot about halfway in the match that I thought was hilariously awesome was the Great Sasuke hitting a spin kick that literally hit Taka Michinoku, and it looked like he killed him. It literally hit him in the face, and Taka crumpled like a sack of potatoes.
Yeah,
Best throw job I've ever seen.
Probably did hit him. Well, yeah, probably.
But then Taka countered, hit him with a pretty hard one. See, that's the thing. A lot of people that watch WWE that may not watch what these guys were doing in Japan. Not just New Japan, but, DDT and Dragon Gate and, MFW whenever it was going on. Those guys hit the shit out of each other. There was no clothesline, barely tapped him, he falls over. No. You're eating a lariat to the face. Get wrecked. There is no chop. No, it's punched dead in the mouth. Those guys hit each other. So, a move where, the Undertaker, fake punch. Sasuke actually, I think, decked Taka a couple times. Dead in the face. And I loved every minute of it. Oh, so great.
Yeah, I enjoyed it quite a bit, too. I mean, if you want to make it look real, there's nothing better than actually just hitting somebody, right?
It's decking him in the face. Taka hits the
guys,
Michinoku driver. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Taka hits the Michinoku driver. Sasuke kicks out, something that not a lot of people did in WWF after this. Sasuke hits a double arm trap German for the win. I don't know what happened, but the fact that the Great Sasuke never held the WWF Light Heavyweight Championship is a crime.
There was some story, I don't remember it offhand, but there's some sort of story there as to why he never really came back. And nothing scandalous or anything either, but someone somewhere has told the story sometime. And, and obviously we know Taka Michinoku, they tried to make, the big star of that division, and I think they got pretty decently far, and then they just kind of let it go, and I'll never really understand why, because I was enjoying it. I mean, his feud with Brian Christopher was kind of fun, that comes up later on in 97, that was a pretty good time, but it just kind of petered away at a certain point.
All right, so what I'm reading here in February of 97, Sasuke and several other MPW teammates made a pair of appearances for ECW in the United States. In July, he and Taka wrestled 2 matches for WWF, one of them at In Your House, Canadian Stampede. It was apparent that Sasuke would sign, but it was Michinoku who signed instead for unknown reasons. So I don't know if it was hey, we're only signing one of you, and maybe they went with Taka because he was probably younger at the time.
He was definitely younger, yeah.
So I'm guessing that it was hey, we'll sign one of you guys, and then went with Taka because he was younger.
Okay, wait. So now here's a question: do you think that if they had signed Satsuki, that division would have become more of a hit somehow? Let's say they take out Taka, who ends up, like I said, if you pay attention to the division the next couple of months, he becomes the star of that division. He definitely is the guy that they're kind of hoping to build it upon. And let's take him out and put Sasuke in that role. Do you think that makes a difference in the division becoming more successful, or do you think that it was just kind of doomed to eventually just kind of die out like it does?
I mean, I think they needed both of them for it to be actually effective.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the WWF Light Heavyweight, the tournament, we have Aguilar.
Yes.
S.A. Rios, basically. Super Loco, who was super crazy.
Yes.
Taka, who wins it. Devin Storm, who also went by a crowbar. Some random person named Eric Shelley, who I have no idea who that is. He lost to Scotty 2 Hottie in the first round.
Yeah.
Brian Christopher, a.k.a. Brian Lawler, who is, now deceased, R.I.P. And a gentleman named Flash Flanagan. Yeah. Okay, cool.
I seem to
You don't mean to tell me that the great Sasuke couldn't have been part of this somehow?
There was definitely an episode of Raw too at some point where they had like a really young Tajiri, like in very plain gear and stuff, wrestling, and like he could have easily been part of the division too. He was pretty awesome back then, also from what I've seen from this, because it's not like I watched Japanese wrestling back then. You know, it's a different world now where you can just log on to New Japan World and watch a show live at 5 a.m. You know.
Yeah. All the quarterfinal matches were under 6 minutes. The semifinals saw Brian Christopher win by forfeit after Kane chokeslammed Scott Taylor. Taka over Aguilar in 6 minutes and 15 seconds. The finals saw Taka over Brian Christopher in 12 minutes at In Your House D-Generation X. Again, I think that division would have been a lot better if they could have, or would have, kept both of them, because I feel like it would have just probably have been a better build, I guess.
I agree.
Yeah.
At least at the start.
I agree. Yeah.
Because when you start looking at this, Taka, who loses it to Christian, and then you have the 448-day reign of Gilbert.
Oh God.
Yeah, like they didn't take this title seriously after Taka and Christian.
No. Yeah, no, they really didn't.
Can you blame Vince? Can you blame Vince Russo for that?
I mean, I feel like you can't really necessarily just blame Vince. I feel like you have to blame, like, they didn't do anything to go get anybody to make this division better. You know, Tajiri, Super Crazy, all those guys in the 90s, in the late 90s, early 2000s that were sitting in ECW that could have been major stars in this division.
But I feel like the reason
Tajiri
why
doesn't come in until 2001.
No, you're right, and I feel like the reason why they didn't take it seriously because at this point the WWF was at that point was so storyline driven that they almost didn't even care about the wrestling anymore. Even Vince Russo admitted to that recently on one of his podcasts. That era was really more about storylines and being, you know, out shocking the next week, every week on Raw, being more shocked that the wrestling in a lot of ways suffered.
No. So after Gilbert, these are the last like 7 reigns until the title was deactivated. After X-Pac got hurt. Oh, fuck. We'll get to that in a minute. S.A. Rios beat Gilbert. Dean Malenko beat S.A. Rios. Scotty Tuhati got an 8-day run. It went back to Dean Malenko for 322 days. Crash Holly for 47. Jerry Lynn for 37. Jerry fucking Lynn. Jeff Hardy for 20 days.
He might be the best champion on that list. Wait a second.
I like Dean Malenko.
Me too.
Oh, fair.
Jeff Hardy held the title for 20 days in 2001. X-Pac, Tajiri, X-Pac, and they were supposed to have a unification bout at Survivor Series against Tajiri, but was canceled due to X-Pac getting hurt, and then the title was deactivated.
What a mess.
What the fuck is wrong with you people? All right, we've now curveballed into another...
Yeah, you've now sidebar to a sidebar to a sidebar.
Yeah, we're going to go back on topic.
Chat me up, man. Chat me up.
Triple H and Mankind battle some more.
Still.
Backstage after the lightweight match. Unfortunately, we lost a very beloved snow shovel to Canada in the part of the brawl. Mankind or Triple H snapped the shovel over one of their backs. I don't remember who broke it over who. But RIP that snow shovel. Gone but not forgotten.
Yeah, that's right.
We go to the video package for the WWF title match where we see the injury to Ahmed Johnson as part of a brawl with the DOA and how it's not Ahmed Johnson, who I feel like it should have been here, even though we knew he was going to lose. Ahmed never really got the title shot after that, did he?
Nope.
I don't.
Oh, he couldn't stay healthy.
You're right. And he barely came back even. Like, he came back for like 5 minutes, was the face again, and then I think got hurt again.
Yeah, this is pretty much right here is the downfall of Ahmed Johnson. right here,
Yeah.
at this point, summer '97, because at this point he was still over. He was still pretty over, but the injuries caught with him, and then the company started going other directions. They built The Rock, and all the other players. That by the time Ahmed tried to do another run, no one cared.
Well, it's because every time he tried to run, he broke something. So
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, the nation
There goes-
turned on him after he recovered and returned in August of '97, which Johnson turned face once more, started feuding with the nation, would reunite with the Legion of Doom as well as Ken Shamrock at the Survivor Series. They defeated the nation.
I really believe The Rock is the one that really took a lot of steam because he became, even though he became a heel, he caught on pretty quick as a heel that momentum that Ahmed could have gotten as a heel, even as a heel with the nation. The Rock got that instead, and this is history.
So here's Johnson's departure from WWF. His last appearance was at a pay-per-view, No Way Out of Texas, in February of '98, along with Shamrock and the DOA against the Nation. While still in Texas, Johnson was booked to appear in a segment with the Truth Commission, the Jackal. I love him. Cyrus the Virus.
I thought it was pretty good, actually, the Jackal. I like the Jackal.
Where he was to be beaten and dragged up the entrance ramp. Unbeknownst to WWF management, Johnson's sister, an avid fan of the WWF, was battling cancer. Johnson knew his sister watched WWF every week and did not want her to have the image of her brother being beaten and dragged by the neck while she was gravely ill. According to Johnson, 15 minutes before he was scheduled for the match, which would end in him being attacked, he received a call from his sister that was not doing really well, that he should come immediately to her hospital in Florida. Johnson met with Vince, told him he had some things he had to deal with, and immediately left the WWF, flew to Florida, where his sister passed away the following week. Johnson has stated subsequently that he did not tell WWF management the reason for his departure at the time because he didn't want to let it be a burden. He didn't want to burden people with his problems and didn't want to give the impression that he was telling them something for sympathy.
I kind of call bullshit on that one, in my opinion.
I mean,
you got a dying sister. You don't think Vince is not that caring? Say, okay, go and take the time off. I mean, come on. There's something more to that. I don't. Look, I'm not gonna sit here and assume anything, but I call bullshit on that. Honestly, it wasn't like Ahmed was like a big cog at that point. It wasn't like he was a big cog at that point in the machine. He was barely mid card at that point.
Joe, your thoughts?
That's just sad. I don't really have anything else to say about it. It's just a sad story.
Oh, goddamn Ahmed Johnson. All right, so we get Vader versus Undertaker instead. That match goes, I want to say it was like 17 minutes or something. Let's see. Time of the match, 12 minutes and 39 seconds. It just felt like 17 minutes. A lot of Vader offense in this match.
Yeah, he looked pretty good.
I really feel like they worked really well together, for sure.
Yeah.
Vader had a lot of offense in this match, though. If this was like a SummerSlam or a fairly bigger card, I would have actually thought Vader had a legitimate chance of winning with as much offense as he had.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I think he dominated probably in a 12-minute match. He probably had offense for probably about 8 minutes of it.
Yeah, he was looking really good.
Yeah.
I don't think you can say a lot about Vader in WWF in his matches. So
yeah, this was one of those good Vader matches. I always thought he worked well with Taker, though.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Maybe again, it's just whoever you have to dance with, and Taker's a really easy one to dance with.
Yeah, exactly.
You think he's a good dancer, really?
The finish of this, I'm never gonna dance again. I really enjoyed this match. Finish saw Taker hit the tombstone. Paul Bearer kind of tries to hightail it up the ramp, knowing that we're a few months away from Kane. Again, I felt like if this was the SummerSlam main event, that match probably, would have gotten a little bit more time. And actually, I think I would have actually believed that Vader had a legitimate chance of winning that match. Whereas, eventually we get Bret Hart versus Undertaker for the title the next month.
Yeah, you're right.
Which we'll probably do that show.
It felt almost like a throwaway in a lot of ways, like a throwaway match. Okay, just throw it in here because whatever. Then you need to fill some time here. Man's not there, obviously. Yeah, it felt like a throwaway to some degree.
But I mean, the thing is, they got.
Well, think about it like this: even the hype video they show before the match is actually mostly focused on how Ahmed Johnson was supposed to be there and isn't. Like this really is just kind of like a hey, this guy got hurt, so here's someone else for you.
Yeah, someone who actually can go in the ring. Cool, let's do it.
Not only that, there's no way to take out the strap off Taker on a in your house show. I mean, SummerSlam, yes, not in your house.
No, that's what I'm saying. If it was a bigger show, you could have actually believed that Vader had a shot of winning.
Agreed.
Okay, so the main event of the show was the 10-man tag. I'm going to call it Team USA versus the Hart Foundation. I know during the Doc Hendricks interview, Dustin Rhodes, a.k.a. Goldust, says, this isn't America versus Canada. It's da-da-da-da, whatever the fuck. It's Team USA versus Team Canada. Like, let's be real here. Everybody on Team USA, with the exception of Stone Cold, talks. Stone Cold just looks at the camera and storms off. He's ready to go to war. We get probably one of the worst renditions of "Oh Canada" I think I've ever heard in my life.
The Canadian Dixie Chicks?
I swear I heard the Dixie Chicks. Like I looked up for a second and I was like, wait, what?
Oh, God, it was so terrible. We then get the introductions for the patriarchs of the Hart Dynasty, Stu and Helen. Nice homage there. Of course, the brothers have to get in front of the camera so they get their 37 seconds of camera time.
Hey, Mike, do you a Stu Hart imitation?
I love Stu Hart.
No, do imitation?
No, my voice is so shot from popping a lot.
Yeah, Owen Hart.
Fucking rhino.
Let's go.
Rhino.
We'll put you in the cable clutch. Oh, go ahead.
All right, so Team WWE, Team USA, whatever the fuck you want to call them. Out comes Goldust. He's followed by Ken Shamrock and Elysian of Doom. I don't know if I told you in the group chat if I said this to Joe privately. Stone Cold comes out, and it sounds like his music is turned up on the WWE Network video to drown out the mixed reaction. Like, it seemed like some people were cheering him. It seemed like some people were booing him, but you couldn't really hear it because his music was piped in at an octave that was louder than anything else I could hear.
It was definitely 50-50, I'll tell you right now. You don't have to even hear it. You can see it. Because there's a lot of 316 stuff out there, but there's also a lot of anti-Austin stuff out there, too. But I love...
No, you can see it. I'm saying from a volume perspective.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little drawn. I agree with you there. I'll tell you what, man. Austin, forget the match itself. This his reaction to the crowd from the time he walked out to the ring, talking absolute cash shit, and then all the way through the entire match, throwing out birds and all this shit. Oh my God! I mean, he got it. He understood it.
Yeah. So Austin makes his way to the ring. Then it's the Hart Foundation. First out is the loose cannon Brian Pillman, who goes absolute ape shit, which I loved. He is joined by Jim the Anvil Neidhart. They are then joined by the WWF European Champion, the British Bulldog, who is with his wife, the 1997 Mrs. Calgary, Diana Smith. Out next is the Intercontinental Champion, the King of Hearts, the two-time Slammy Award-winning Owen Hart. And finally, the leader of the Hart Foundation, Bret the Hitman Hart. He joins the rest of the team on stage. The crowd is loud, like super loud. We went from not having a crowd, not having 12,000 people in that show, to having 12,000 people chanting when the Hart Foundation came out. It was like the crowd finally drank their coffee and woke up. Because it went from being not that loud to being super lit real quick.
I think Joe and I got to the debate about this actually a couple weeks ago about the pay-per-view being people recording as one of the best ones ever in the company's history. It wasn't that the card was great. If you saw the beginning of that match, for example, the cameras are shaking. It was that loud.
The crowd definitely helped this match, but I still don't put it in one of the best shows in WWF history. I don't. The finish of this match, which we'll get to, I think was trash.
Mm-hmm.
I think what's interesting, and I was messaging you yesterday, Bern, about this. Like, we don't. The fun part to me is I feel like this isn't the first time we've ever seen a crowd like this excited for the hometown people. You know, certainly if you watch any old World Class, I mean, anytime Von Erich popped out, as long as it wasn't one that they clearly knew wasn't actually related, you know, that audience was just as electric. I think what's interesting to me, though, more than anything else, is that crowds don't have quite that, like, hometown, I don't even know what the word I'm looking for. Like, I want to say respect, but that doesn't even really, you know, summarize it. Like, crowds don't care as much anymore for, like, their hometown people. Like, I don't think there's any wrestler actively going today that you can put in front of their hometown audience and get a reaction like this, or like you could have gotten for the Von Erichs in Texas, or, you know, I honestly, like, I really can't think of a single one right now. Like, maybe if we go to Samoa, maybe Samoa Joe really big pop, but like
maybe if you put like Roman in like Samoa,
right?
Or
you still get a few views because people are dicks. That's why. It's not fair.
Well, I mean, the thing is, the only other person that honestly, and this is going to sound really weird, that could actually probably match up to it would be if you put Zayn and Owens together in Quebec.
I don't even know.
I feel like that.
I mean,
Sami Zayn?
Like
you mean Sami
Zayn?
Zayn?
That fan base would go. Yes.
Interesting.
I feel like the two of them together in that audience would go super ridiculous.
I think it'll be interesting to see what kind of response Owens gets in Toronto at SummerSlam, being one of the biggest.
Oh, he's gonna that place is gonna erupt because he's fighting Shane, and everyone's sick and tired of fucking Shane.
Yeah, but I don't think it's going to be hometown heat like this. Like, I just don't think.
I don't think it can be hometown heat because it's not going to be all Canadians.
Real
it's
quick,
going to be a lot of people like us traveling to it.
I didn't see SmackDown last night. Was Shane on SmackDown last night?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
Damn it.
He actually had a prominent role in the main event.
Oh, damn it. No, okay, you're wrong. And I know I know a sidebar real quick on current shit. I love Shane McMahon. I love him. And I don't want him off TV. I just want him on TV all the fucking time. That's all. Rant over.
The problem with that is they've allowed it to already happen, that now they have to fucking run the rest of the storyline out. You can't just abruptly be like, oh yeah, he's not on TV anymore, guys.
What's I'm saying? But I mean, you can subtly do it. Subtly do it. Do it on SmackDown only. Leave Raw alone. I mean, obviously this week Raw's reunion was different, but you know what I'm saying.
Honestly, fucking leave the SmackDown guys on SmackDown and the fucking Raw guys on Raw and stop this fucking wild card shit.
We're probably gonna get that.
Really fucking annoying.
We're probably gonna get there. Probably go back there at some point to the brand thing.
God, I mean, I'll fucking wild cards.
97 guys in 1997, because that's not even happening right now.
No.
The time travel wild card. That's what we're getting.
Jesus. Bret Hart gives his cool little glasses to his mom, hugs her. Nice little moment.
So cute.
I like that. So cute. There was a lot that happened in this match, so I wasn't able to take as much notes as I normally do. Austin and Bret started off, and they went right in the middle of the ring and just started punching left and right.
A lot of middle fingers, too, by the way.
Yeah. Bret started stomping a mud hole in Austin. Austin gets up, starts stomping a mud hole in Bret. All 10 guys cycle through and get paired up with different guys. About the midway point of the match, Austin grabs a steel chair, wraps it around Owen's knee, which was up against the ring post. Bruce Hart, again, one of the brothers that's got to try to get 5 minutes of fame.
Yeah.
You know, tries to grab the chair from Steve. Austin punches him. Bret runs Austin off. Bret yells that Owen's hurt. They get Owen up. They get him out with some referee assistance. A brawl ensues after the 5-on-4 advantage. Bret puts Austin's leg around the ring post, drills him with a fire extinguisher a couple times. Austin walks out, I guess, to go get his own medical treatment. 4-on-4. Austin ends up coming back. They're brawling some more. Owen makes his way down, and Owen wins via roll-up for the Hart Foundation. Fitting because of the way that Austin wins the Intercontinental title at the next show. and then it wasn't the planned finish.
Albeit the injury, but
Wasn't the planned finish, but kind of funny. Owen rolls up Austin rolls up Owen the next month. It's kind of hilarious whenever you actually think about it, because I literally just came up with that conclusion about 10 minutes ago. Whenever I looked and was like, oh shit, SummerSlam is the next pay per view.
it's kind of sick though, because like you know what's kind of awesome about this pay per view too. Also, like at this point in Canadian Stampede, Brett and Austin have been feuding for about 8-9 months now, since Survivor Series the year before. Okay, then you shift now from Austin to Owen now for another few months. I mean, it's incredible how they just kind of subtly did that. You don't realize it until you realize it. Like, oh shoot, that's Owen and Steve now be feuding now. And
Yes.
And basically what you have is a full calendar year from Survivor Series, Austin feuding the Hearts for a whole year.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It was awesome.
Yep.
Post match, they have a little bit of a brawl. They get Austin out. They get Team USA out. The Hearts are celebrating. Austin runs back with a chair and blasts the anvil in the back. He then tries to get to Brett. The rest of the Hart Foundation jump on Austin and start beating him up, as do the Hart brothers that have been put in the ring. Police come in and handcuff Austin. As he's walking up the ramp, he stops, bends over, and gives him the double bird. The entire Hart family, all 737 million of them, enter the ring. And we fade to black. And that is your 1997 Canadian Stampede in your house show.
Austin was, real quick, Austin was, I mean, look, for one night, I mean, I know Austin at this point was a babyface, relatively babyface, because, obviously by virtue of the popularity. But for one night, dude, he was the ultimate heel for this one night. The ultimate heel. And I loved it. It was great.
Well, the great thing about wholeheartedly. It's not like he had to do that much different that he normally would. It just happened to be.
Oh, no doubt. But he egged them on. Like, he egged on the crowd, like, with the middle fingers and talking shit to the crowd. I mean, it was great. I mean, there was a point in the match, too, also, early in the match, where like, he stomped on Brett, and then he told somebody fuck you in the crowd. Like, and you can hear it on the network.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, no, he was definitely lit. I loved it.
Yeah.
So that is Canadian Stampede. Now, here's the thing. We have some options on what we want to cover on our next show. I know where I want to go. I will let you guys make a choice, because we're going into August. I know we said we weren't going to do this by the month. The show I want to cover is the most important show in WCW history.
Which is Bash at the Beach, 1990.
Bash at the Beach, 1996. The birth of the NWO. Our other options, we can cover the next pay-per-view after Canadian Stampede, which is SummerSlam 97. Or we can do something a little bit further back or a little bit further forward. I know we have some things that we can accomplish. I know during the month of August, I want to cover the SummerSlam that took place in Wembley, 92, which was 92. Brett versus Bulldog for the Intercontinental title.
Okay.
But I definitely want to hit Bash at the Beach. So what do you guys want to cover next week on the show?
I won't push this necessarily heavily, but SummerSlam 88 would be one I would definitely want to cover.
I can be okay with that.
That's the first one.
Down.
That's the very first one.
Do we actually want to do our Raw watch along next week, and then do Bash at the Beach the following week, and then SummerSlam?
We can do that. The one that Joe was talking about, the one from '95 with Jeff Jarrett.
Yes.
Okay.
What's the date on that one?
It's short too, which is good.
It's so fun, and this is so much like this is stuff that should have been so throwaway, but history has made kind of matter that makes it fun. You know what I mean? Like if you watched it back then, it was just an episode of Raw. But watching it 20-something years later, it's like, wow, wait, that guy was in this episode, and this debuted here. Like it's a lot more significant, I think, than you might think.
Yeah. What's the date on that, Joe? What show?
Is it July? Then July.
July 3rd,
Yeah.
95.
All right, so the July 3rd, 95 Monday Night Raw. That'll be our show next week. After that, we'll definitely, in somewhat order, cover the 92 SummerSlam, the 88 SummerSlam, and Bash at the Beach 1996. Those will probably be our next 3 or 4 episodes.
Okay, right.
So I'll write those down and I'll send them to you guys in the group chat when we log off here. For those of you that are following us religiously, we thank you. Follow us on iTunes. We're also on Spotify. You can follow my YouTube channel where I talk about sports at Fat Kid Certified SC. Also on Instagram at Fat Kid Certified SC. Lots of fun stuff going on there.
Oh, yeah.
Ernest has a new podcast with his wife.
Oh yeah, we launched last week.
Christian.
Yep, doing an episode tonight actually. Can't wait. I'm also starting a podcast as well too. Mm-hmm.
No, ladies and gentlemen, it is not a Christian mingle dating podcast. Their names are Christian, so it's really not Christian mingle. Joe, we got 17 days to Toronto.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Let's go to the 6th. While I'm out there, me and Joe will probably do some fun things on my Instagram as well as the YouTube stuff. Ernest could not make it because Ernest sucks.
You know what's funny though? If I knew SmackDown was here in Miami last night, I would have tried to go on.
I was going to try to go until my situation arose.
Right.
So it is what it is. Yeah. So we're going to wrap up this show now. That was Canadian Stampede. Join us next week for the July 3rd, 1995 Raw watch along. You can watch it beforehand and get yourself ready, but we're going to actually sit there and watch it together. The first watch along we're actually going to do. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It'll be a lot of fun.
I'm going to enjoy it.
Can't wait for it.
So until next week, for my co-host, not on Twitter, at The Real Joseph Lopez, for Ernest DJ Christian, I am Mike Bernier. Until we see you guys on the other side, enjoy some professional wrestling, and we'll see you guys later.